Hello everybody, this is Zak Burns with Cliintel.com, here to teach you about a couple of tricks in Excel in the data validation tab. And what we're really looking for here is to help you increase your standardization across multiple people, filling out the same type of spreadsheet, and also eliminate any potential fat fingers, things like that. So we're trying to increase the consistency and the quality here. And a good example of if you're not using this, what can happen is right here. If you'll notice, we've got a state column, and in our state column we've got a bunch of different people that have come in here and they've filled out the state, and they've all done it differently. So when I come in to try to now filter, I've got Colorado spelled with an A, I've got CO, we've got COLO, we've got COLO period, all sorts of different problems here. And this leads to an issue when you're trying to create charts or pivot tables or things like that, because ultimately it's going to be difficult to group all of our Colorados into one grouping. And this is going to end up, you're going to spend a lot of time having to do work with your data in order to get to a point where you can then actually see the data you want to see it. So with a little bit of work up front, you can eliminate some of these issues and save yourself a lot of time on the back end. So let's get started. I've built a custom sheet here, and as you can see, we have customer, state, quantity, price, product code, and date of order. So this is just kind of an example of maybe something that you're filling out on a daily basis. Maybe you have a few different employees that are filling this out and then combining them. And so what we're going to try to do here is help them do it the same way. So first thing is we're going to input our customer name, and then we're going to go to state. So we just looked at a good state example of how things can go problematically, and now we're going to show you how to fix it. We're going to go up into the data tab and go to data validation. We're going to pick data validation again, and we get this little pop-up. The best thing to use here, in my opinion, would be the list feature. And so we're going to pick list here. We're going to ignore blanks and in-cell dropdown, and then our source. For our source, we're going to do equals, and this is where you're going to put a list of possible answers that are appropriate for this cell. So it just so happens I have a list of all the states in 2-digit codes. So I'm going to highlight all of those. You'll notice that that's updated here, and we're going to hit enter. Now we have a drop down, and everything in our list is available. So I can go in and pick Colorado and go on. If for some reason somebody comes in and tries to type Colorado, you're going to get an error message. You're going to say, okay, retry. And then hopefully you're going to then use the drop down to get your CO. Next up is quantity. A good example of this is possibly how many orders they bought, things like that. You're not going to want any fat fingers. You're not going to want 14.3 because that would be a weird quantity, obviously. So we're going to go into our same data validation box, and we're going to pick whole number, and we're going to put greater than or equal to, and we're going to pick 0 in this example. So again, what this is going to do, it's going to give you, it's going to error out if I put anything other than a whole number greater than 0. So if I try to put 9.9, we're going to get an error. We're going to have to retry. If I put -9, same thing, error. So it's going to continue erroring out until I put a value that is a whole number between 0 and infinity. So now I'm going to put 9, and we're off to the races. Price. This one's going to be pretty similar, but instead of whole number, now it would probably make sense to use a decimal. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drop down and choose decimal. We're going to do greater than or equal to again, because I don't think you want the price to be negative typically. And we've got our same thing. The only difference is that now I am able to put a decimal in our space. This will also let you put a whole number, so if you put 19, that will interpret the data as 19.00. But if you come in here and put -19, we're going to get our same error. So we'll fix that and leave it at 19.99. Product code. So this, again, this could be anything the way your product codes are set up, but for this example we're going to say that all of our product codes are 4 digits. They could have numbers or letters in them, but we do not want anything more than 4 digits, because if that's the case, then it means it's wrong. So same thing, we're going to go up to our data validation. We're going to come in here and we're going to pick text length, and we are going to say equal to, and we're going to say 4 characters. So now again, I can type in any 4 characters I want and we'll be good to go. But if I type in 5 characters, we're going to get our error. You can interchange this. You can do a couple letters, couple numbers, or you can do all letters or all numbers. It doesn't matter. You just have to have 4. If you do only 3, same error. So this will limit the type of errors that you can make there for whoever's inputting this. Now the last one is date of order. We're going to go back into our data validation and we're going to pick date. Now this one we'll use the between. So how about we're going to say that on this is a monthly chart. So there's no date that should be outside of January 1st. So we're going to put 1/1/15, and our end date is 1/31/15. And we're going to hit OK. So now if I put anything in here outside of that range, that's when we're going to get our error. So we retry it, and now we're going to do and you'll notice that you can put the date format however you want. If you want to use slashes, you can use that. If you want to do dashes, you can do that. Doesn't matter. Excel is smart enough to figure that out and convert it. So that's a quick look at data validation. Please come back and check us out next time. We're going to have some more of these coming up, so stay tuned.